Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to Concordia University's Fourth Space. Thank you so much for joining us for the launch of the multilingual web project Mumtalakat. We are streaming to YouTube Live from Fourth Space, which is located on unceded Indigenous lands in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal. Here at Fourth Space, we collaborate with our university community by activating the research projects and initiatives across the university through daily activities. We are running this event as a live stream meeting, so we welcome your comments and questions with a raised hand or via the chat if you're joining by Zoom. For those of you in the space, if you'd like to participate, just let us know by raising a hand and we'll be sure to get a microphone to you. It is now my pleasure to hand it over to the director of the Allen Gallery, Michelle Thériault.
Merci, thank you. You can all hear me, yeah. So welcome, bienvenue at this launch of Mumtalakat. It's an important event because it's about 3 years in the making or more. So I'd like to begin by acknowledging before that we are on Concordia University and the gallery is located on unceded Indigenous lands. The Kanakahake Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather today. Tiohtià:ke, Montreal is historically known as a gathering place for many First Nations and is today home to a diverse population of Indigenous and other people. We respect the continued connections with the past, present, and future in our ongoing relationship with Indigenous and other peoples within the Montreal community. So Mumtalakat, yes, Mumtalakat is a project developed by Emma Arake, who is here to my right. Over a 3-year period, it began back in the summer of 2019 with a small exhibition in the gallery's vestibule. And that exhibition was around a project that Emma had developed for her master's thesis in oral history around the relationship between objects and the people who own them, all of them Arabic-speaking inhabitants of Montreal who had come here over the last, some recently, some less recently. And the project also developed Mumtalakat, which is an overarching term for the whole project, developed also into workshops and events that took place each summer with different areas in relation to the relationship to the passage from one's land, one's territory, one's home country to here. And of course, the Arabic-speaking population in Montreal is a varied one, bringing together different cultures in different parts of the world. And over the years, that program has brought together a community of Arabic-speaking people together and has created events that, you know, many of them return and participate in our events, and we're really happy about that. And I think that that's really important. And the program Mumtalakat as such, so has reached a kind of culmination here with this website that Emma will be presenting to you and also will be discussing with her guests that are here tonight. But the program will continue, an Arabic-speaking program for Arabic-speaking inhabitants of Montreal or elsewhere if they're here, because sometimes we do some of our programs in online, so people from outside of Montreal are able to participate. And also, but we will have different players. I mean, Lynn Codet now does visits of our exhibitions in Arabic. It used to be Emma that was doing them. And Raja Salim, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry if you're here, Raja, and I didn't remember last name, but we'll be organizing. She's developing and organizing a series of workshops that will take place later in the spring and over this year. So you're all welcome to participate in that, whether you're Arabic speaking or not. Might be more difficult for you if you're not, but still you can. That's it. And I also want to thank Robin Simpson, who is the gallery's education coordinator, who has accompanied Emma throughout always there to, as a sounding board a little bit too, and also as the organizer in charge of all the logistics that have to do with all the events and workshops that have taken place over the years. So I think that's it, and I will leave microphone to Emma.
Thank you, Michelle. I think, I mean, you're taller than me, so no, I think this is good. أهلا وسهلا بالجميع. بدي أشكر كل اللي انضموا إلنا. للناس اللي بتحكي عربي بتمنى اللهجة اللبنانية تكون مفهومة. اسمي إيما حركي مثل ما قالت ميشيل، وراح دير الحوار اليوم على الطاولة، بس هلأ بس هيك presentation صغيرة. Welcome, bienvenue à tout le monde. Je suis ravie d'être ici parmi vous pour cet événement. قبل ما نبدأ بدنا مهم نعترف إنه نحن مجتمعين اليوم على أراضي للسكان الأصليين. Okay, I have to be more assertive. Okay. قبل ما نبدأ مهم نعترف إنه نحن مجتمعين اليوم على أراضي للسكان الأصليين لم يتم التنازل عنها. وبدنا كمان نعبر عن امتناننا وتقديرنا لشعوب الغانيانغهاغا المعترف فيها كراعية أو حارسة لهيدي الأراضي والمياه المتجمعين عليها اليوم. هيدي الجزيرة اللي بنسميها موريال اسمها هو جوهجاغي بلغة الغانيانغهاغا، وهي معروفة تاريخياً بأنها مكان تجمع لكثير من الشعوب الأولى. Yes. Thank you. That's really helpful. Yeah. Definitely. I could have. Like. No worries, take your time. Yeah. Thank you. Really helpful. Thank you. وبس هيك بدي أقول ختام هيك بختام هيدا الأكنولجمنت اللي عم نعملها بالعربي، إنه دايماً ببداية كل إيفنت آخر هالكم سنة بنبتدي بهيدا الاعتراف والتقدير يمكن للشعوب اللي سبقتنا على هيدي الأرض. وجزء كبير من هيدا المشروع هو له علاقة بالتاريخ الشفوي، بالقصص اللي منخبرها لبعض، منخبرها عن حالنا، عن الأراضي اللي رجينا منها، وعن كمان الأراضي اللي ساكنين فيها. وهيك وعلاقة يمكن هالقصص والسرديات اللي منخبرها بالذاكرة وكشكل من أشكال المعرفة، حتى إنه ذاكرتنا وقصصنا المنخبرة. فبس بدي منكم هيك إنه like to think of this acknowledgement as a way like we all come from elsewhere, those of us who speak Arabic, from different lands, different countries, and like as we think about the stories that we share about these lands that we came from and the lands where we're inhabiting, like to acknowledge the contributions of the people who were before us here, but also where we come from, like about our ancestors and the story we carry within us as we move from one place into another. So we're gathered here today, as Michelle said, for the launch of this trilingual website, Mumtalakat. I'll just give like a short disclaimer about language. So الإيفنت رح نحكي بلغتين 3 لغات. عادة بهيدي الإيفنتس نطلب من الناس، يعني ما في ترجمة، فبدي بس هيك أطلب منكم تكونوا صبورين إذا في لغة مش مرتاحين فيها، هيك نطول بالنا. وححاول لما يكون في قراءات أو نصوص بالأجنبي حط على الشاشة النص بالعربي وبالعكس كمان. وهيك كونوا مرتاحين. إذا حدا بده يرتاح ستريتش شوي، قاعدين مع بعض ساعة ونص، خدوا راحتكم يعني. Une petite remarque sur la langue. Cet événement s'agit d'un événement trilingue. The 4 guests will be speaking in English and Arabic and French, same for me. Malheureusement, on ne peut pas offrir de traduction simultanée. Je vais essayer de partager des textes en anglais ou en français sur l'écran si jamais quelqu'un is reading in Arabic. Mais je reconnais qu'il n'est pas comme agréable d'assister à un événement où vous ne comprenez pas tout. Alors, it's just an invitation to be patient, like open in your spirit, and like to try your best, do you, to be comfortable and like to stay grounded in the experience. If you need to take a break, or if you wish, there's a listening station over there where you could experience the website, listen to some of the interviews. So yeah, like do whatever keeps you grounded and with us in this space. And during the Q&A, of course, you're welcome to ask questions or converse with us in the language of your choice. ونفس الشيء بالعربي يعني فيكم تحكوا بالعربي على راحتكم. I was going to give like a very brief introduction about how the project started, but Michelle already did that, so that's good. I don't want to speak a lot at the beginning. I just want to talk a bit maybe about like the project's core is these interviews, oral history interviews I did with different Arabic-speaking locals over the years. And then like the different activities that were animated around them, and then with the like culmination with this website as the culmination of this project. So in addition to the interviews, I would say on the website you will find accompanying transcripts in Arabic, English, and French. You will also find 3 critical texts authored in Arabic, English, and French by Abir Esper, Maitel Misani, and Huda Adra, who I see over there. And I want to say, like, we will talk a bit about the website during the conversation, and invite you, like, give you a teaser, and then you could hopefully explore it more on your own. It really takes time to listen to the entirety of these interviews or interact with the website. Like the interviews, I just want to say, for like an oral history interview to accomplish its function, it really needs like to be listened to in its entirety. The critical texts that accompany these interviews that were authored, they stand on their own as, you know, texts, but they also expand the interpretive narrative and potential of these interviews. So before I head to the guests, I just want to say a few thank yous et remerciements. هذا المشروع كتير 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 قريب على قلبي. اللي بيعرفوني بيعرفوا قد ايه هيك خلى هالمدينة يمكن تكون دافية، وخلال هالسنين اللي قطعت من خلاله تعرفت على ناس كتير حلوين. الشكر الكبير أول شيء بدي أشكر كل الأشخاص اللي قابلتهم. في 8 أشخاص قصصهم موجودين على الويب سايت، وفي أشخاص غيرهم كمان القصص ما انحطت على الويب سايت، بس القصص موجودة على الويب سايت. بدي أشكر في ماهر، فرح، وسام، عايشة، عم بحاول أتذكر لما أنسى ميم شاركت قصتها بس ما شاركت اسمها، سوسن، وفي آمنة وملكة. هول 8 أشخاص أنا مدينة لإلهم بشكل كتير كتير كبير. هذا المشروع فعلا ما كان ممكن إنه يكون في ويب سايت إذا ما فيها الناس اللي قبلوا هيك بكل كرم وما بعرف يشاركوا هالقصص معنا. Alors, je viens de remercier tous les gens qui ont partagé leur récit avec moi, avec nous maintenant. Il faut quand même, comme beaucoup de courage, de confiance et de générosité, de partager ces récits en ligne. Mais comme le sens de ce genre de travail collaboratif, il vient de ces relations qu'on construit au fil de temps. Puis sans ces relations, ça perd beaucoup quand même. So I'm really grateful for the interviewees, and also for every single person who made this project possible over the years. The writers, the authors, the 3 authors, the translators, people who translated texts from Arabic to English, English to French, French to English, like it was a lot of people who really worked on that. Transcribers, people who transcribed the interviews in Arabic, videographer Vitali, who helped us with editing the videos, the design team, and also I want to thank all the guests, all the participants, the people who were part of this project and the different activities that were, I don't know, orbiting, I don't know, you know, we were doing throughout the years. I also want to thank Robin, my sidekick, like for this project throughout the years as well. As Michelle said, it was really great to have you, anyway, to brainstorm together and just, you know, have you there in general. Michelle, also thank you, and for the gallery for their support. Anna, Dog, I forgot your name. Jess, okay. And all the Fourth Space team for hosting us today in their lovely space. And all of you joining us here. And if there's anyone online. And yeah, let's start the conversation. Maybe we'll talk a bit more about the website as we talk a bit. So with that being said, a huge thank you to the 4 guests who are here today, who have generously, you know, accepted the invitation. And to start us off, I'm just going to smoothly move over to the table. And unmute myself. So the 4 people we have here, there's Joël Ghanem, who's part of the web design team, Zaki Mahfoud, who helped with translating some of the texts, Abir Esper, who co-authored one of the texts we have on the website, and Bashir Amin. I'll be introducing them, just reading short bios. But before I do that, maybe I was thinking, should I read the 4 bios together or not? How we'll do it is, how we'll start this conversation is really an invitation for the 4 guests to share about how each one of them engaged with this project from their perspective backgrounds. So مثل ما اتفقنا كل شخص إذا بيقدر تخبرونا تشاركوا معنا تجربتكم بالمشروع. هنبتدي بجوال بس هعرف عنك قبل. Born and raised in Byblos, Joël Ghanem is a Lebanese Canadian designer who immigrated to Montreal in 2006. Joël received a bachelor's degree in graphic design from the Lebanese American University and diplomas in web design and digital photographic imaging from Concordia University. In 2011, Joël co-founded Join, a versatile design platform that specializes in branding and visual communications. In 2020, she co-founded Sila, okay, a nonprofit organization with a mission to support Lebanese wishing to immigrate and integrate in Canada. Joël is a member of the design team who created, conceptualized this website, and I'm really excited, to hear more.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Emma for this beautiful project and for gathering us today all together. It's been a pleasure to collaborate with you, and I hope the website met your expectations and your objectives in terms of design. I also want to take a moment to thank the Ellen Gallery for the opportunity to work on this project. Thank you, Michelle and Robin, for your input, for your collaboration, and for the directions throughout the whole process. I also want to take a moment to thank my partner and collaborator, Lynn, for her precious contribution, and Eli, the web developer, who for his dedication and hard work, and who coded the design direction into the functioning website. So I'm going to start by saying that this project was extremely meaningful to us as both professionals and on the personal level. As trilingual designers, it was actually our first simultaneously trilingual website that we built in Montreal. And on the personal level, as immigrants ourselves, we were able to relate to each and every interviewee, like to the whole content. We understood where the participants came from, where they are today, and what these objects meant to them. And we started to reflect on our very own Mumtalakat that we brought with us ourselves during, like from our homeland. So I'm gonna briefly talk about the process that we went through to build this website. We had two main priorities. First, to try and gather or present this rich content into an accessible and easily, like a platform that could be easily navigated, and at the same time balance the three languages all together in this platform without giving an importance of one language over the other. So we started the process by thorough data extraction, like to collect the data and analyze the data. We sent a questionnaire to Michelle, Emma, and Robin. We analyzed the inspiration. We dissected all the interviews to be able to extract the key notions around the project that revolve around migration experience, the memory, and oral history, of course. And then we presented two directions, two options to choose from, recollection and collection. The latter was more about putting the objects as key entry to the content, but you ended up going with recollection, which highlighted the participants and putting them as key entry while they navigate the experience of the migration and remembering and all the details. So as you can see, this is the homepage of the website. We have, first of all, a three-column grid that represents the map aspect. So we wanted to locate these participants in the same spot, which represents Montreal and the present moment. And this, the three-column grid also represents like the triad of languages, which will be shown if you once you enter each participant's page, and you can see Arabic, French, and English equally divided on the page. So here we have an example of a participants page. On this page, we try to mirror the experience of the exhibition that happened in the vestibule of the gallery, where the videos, the interviews were projected on the screen, and where you had the choice to pick up transcripts, which were on the side of the table, either French, Arabic, and English. And you can notice here the overlay of the transcripts over the video. We also assigned color codes that are unique to each participant, and these codes for us represented the tone and the perspective of each participant, how they described their objects and their experiences. And that's about it from my end. If you have any questions later while navigating the website, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks.
Am I muted? Okay. Oh, okay. All good. Next we have زكي محفوظ. بس هعرف عن زكي. زكي محفوظ صحافي ومسرحي وحكواتي لبناني كندي.
حاصل على دبلوم الدراسات العليا في الفنون المسرحية، وله أعمال مسرحية وخبرات متنوعة في الكتابة والتمثيل والإيماء والإخراج. اكتسب خبرة طويلة في الصحافة والكتابة والتحرير والترجمة وإدارة المواقع الإلكترونية. في مونتريال زكي هو عضو في مؤسسة حي حاتم علي للفنون، وعضو منتسب في المركز التاريخ الشفوي والمرويات الرقمية كودز في جامعة كونكورديا. مثل وعمل مستشارا فنيا في مسرحية كرز للمخرجة السينمائية عليا خاشوق التي قدمت في سنتر دو لوازير سان لوران. حاليا زكي يقدم عروض حكواتي في المدينة. وزكي نفس السؤال، تشاركنا تجربتك مع هالمشروع.
مرحبا. تجربتي بلشت اليوم على فكرة، مش قبل، لأنه هالقد بيعني لي المشروع لدرجة إني حلقت دقني وحطيت ريحة عربي عود، وجيت لحتى شارككم هالشغلة، لأنه أنا حاطط حالي باحتفال يعني حابب احتفل بكتير انجازات اما اول شيء اللي استقبلتنا كلنا وحسينا حالنا معنيين بالمشروع، لانه كلنا جبنا ممتلكات معنا. وكمان كونكورديا والمكتبة ألين لايبراري وكودز، هودي اللي كانوا هن البيئة تبع المشروع. والحقيقة اللي أكتر شيء لفت لي نظري هو هذا الجهد اللي انحط، وشيء بنفتقده نحن ببلادنا، هذا الجهد وهالإصرار وهالبحث، أهم شيء البحث عن الأشياء. فرح أبدأ أنا لكم تجربتي بهالمشروع بالإنجليزي بالأول. Aida, my wife and I immigrated for the second time to Montreal on July 6, 2020, 28 days before the monstrous explosion in the port of Beirut on August 4. Few days before we traveled here, I ran into this spot. Yes, sorry. Into this spot and took this picture hastily. Well, as you can see, a delightful lemon tree amid solid, thick walls built from basalt stones on a fertile soil. In fact, this scene is actually situated amid my family neighborhood, amid my childhood, my adolescence, amid all that made me who I am. The moment I clicked the shutter, I promised myself to dig out my abundant memories from behind each and every stone in that place. So this picture can become my personal archive. Recalling that moment, I felt we fled to Canada twice. The first time on July 6 from Lebanon, as mentioned. The second time on August 4, while residing in Montreal, for our backs have broken and necks locked, and we could not look back. In one of the Zoom events of Mumtalakat, I showed this picture to the audience and told the story. Then I got involved in this wonderful project, translating text into Arabic. While translating text about such nomadic objects, as May Telmisani called them, into the original language of the immigrants who carried them through their travels, I felt as if I were returning those objects to their original places. Well, I was very wrong. unfortunately. After 2.5 years of fleeing Lebanon, we went back for a short visit, only to find out that the lemon tree was dead and uprooted. I could not take a new picture for that place. I preferred the tree stayed alive in this picture, with its soul composed of pixels or pixels, I don't know how they pronounce it. Which brings me to the conclusion of my intervention. As harsh as it may look to the Anglophone and Francophone audience, I feel the obligation of reading out a small paragraph suitable for the ending in Arabic, with the hope that the lemon tree will resurrect in its original place. The text is from the marvelous story of The Voice of Sifr, written by the beautiful mind and charming genius Huda Adra, posted in this website. Now back to the pixelated state of the tree. The reporter, Duha Ra'ad, which is a rearrangement of the letters of Huda Adra, asked Sifr. Sifr is a being, a voice which tells the story of now as they happen. You will read it and enjoy it, I suppose. So reporter Duha Ra'ad asks Sifr, طيب قل لي إذن كيف أتفادى أن أصبح بكسل ميتة هائمة؟ كيف نبدأ نحلم عندما ينهار كل شيء؟ Sifr replied, أعتقد أن الحلم هو تمرين على تذكر المستقبل، وقد يبدو في الأمر تناقض، إذ كيف تسترجعين وقتا لم يمضي بعد؟ الحلم هو إحياء لذكرى أمنية تدفعك قدما في الزمن. التذكر، إعادة تكوين حقيقة مستحيلة تكون مدوية مجلجلة إلى درجة أن الوبر على ذراعيك ينسحب دخولا حتى يبلغ عظامك وينغرس في قلبك. تعلمين أن ثمة قدرة للحلم عندما يفعل فيك هذا، إنه يعيدك إلى صوابك. ونص هدى عدرا أعادني إلى صوابي الذي فقدته عندما وجدت شجرة الليمون ماتت وأمست بكسلات ميتة هائمة. Huda's text did put me back together. Thank you.
شكرا يا زكي. اوكي هلا عنا الحلوة عبير. حعرف عن عبير. عبير أسبر هي مخرجة وروائية سورية من مواليد دمشق، تحمل شهادة في الأدب الإنجليزي من جامعة دمشق، وانتقلت للعيش في كندا منذ العام 2016. وهي تحضر حالياً للاختصاص في الفرنسية والإنجليزية كلغة ثانية من جامعة الأوكام. عبير عملت كمساعد مخرج تحت إدارة سينمائيين عرب وسوريين، كما كتبت وأخرجت العديد من الأعمال التلفزيونية والسينمائية. ما زالت تمارس الكتابة الصحفية ولديها العشرات من المقالات النقدية في الأدب والسينما، وفي رصيدها الأدبي 5 روايات. حازت أعمال عبير على المراكز الأولى في مسابقة حنا مينا التي رعتها وزارة الثقافة السورية واحتفالية دمشق عاصمة للثقافة العربية. كما حازت على منح من الصندوق العربي للثقافة والفنون آفاق والمجلس الكندي للفنون. شوي يمكن outdated البايو بس
كويسة منيح.
تفضلي عبير.
مرحبا. I couldn't but notice how many people Emma had thanks, so I have no one to thank. It's all mine, all done by me. Well, I'm gonna jump into Arabic and say that when Emma asked me to participate, I had one major question, one major dilemma. As a survivor, is it crucial to remember or is it crucial to forget? And this kind of this jumping between remembering and forgetting is the dilemma of all survivors, I think. I haven't reached a good answer. I haven't decided what is better for a survivor to regain his life again. But sharing this experience meant a lot for me and was really not easy. رح كمل بالعربي لأنه I'm getting a little bit well رح أتأثر شوي. بالنسبة للشكر الأشخاص، بالنسبة ل قديش الناس هن بيلعبوا دور بحياتنا، بعتقد إنه أنا كشخص إني حصيلة مساعدات، حصيلة تدخلات الناس بحياتي. أنا كل شيء عملته كان بسبب إنه في ناس وصلوا لعندي وقالوا لي بنحب إنه نعرفك، بنحب نمدلك إيدنا، بنحب نتعرف عليكي، وبسبب هدول العالم أنا لهلأ موجودة، لهلأ قادرة إني أشتغل. ما رح طول كتير بالكلام اللي رح أقدر لكم إياه، إني رح شارك جزء من النص اللي موجود على الويب سايت، ورح أقرأه بالعربي لأنه رح يكون بحرارته. وإذا كسرت باللغة بشار سامحني. أنا حاولت أتمرن يعني. فهيك هلا مع الميكروفون رح يكون مستحيل تقريبا ما طبش كسرات وفتحات.
قول أنا طبشت منيح
فيعني عذرا. متنقلة بين مدن الإمارات لعامين متتاليين، كنت في دبي ألملم حقائبي المرتجلة استعدادا لرحيل آخر إلى بيروت، حين عثرت في جيب مخفي على علاقة مفاتيح أصابتني رؤيتها بموجة بكاء لم أستطع ضبط هستيريتها. مثل بطلة في فيلم أمريكي هددت على الأرض متكورة كمن أصيب بطلقة من قناص خفي. كان الألم غريبا وغائرا ومسددا بعناية إلى الرأس، إلى الوعي. علمت عندها أني لم أصب بطلقة حزن، بل الخوف كان من سدد رصاصاته إلى وعيي. حيث رأيت ما سيأتي تشوفت الحكاية كلها. علمت أن هناك رحيلا طويلا متكررا بطيئا ومملا. علمت أن المنفى سيتحول ببلاغته إلى جملة مركزية وسيصبح أطول من موت. في علاقة المفاتيح تلك كان وجه كليوباترا يطل علي بعد أن حملته زوجة أخي من منتجعات البحر الأحمر كهدايا السائحين الطفولية. هناك داخل السلك المعدني عددت 4 مفاتيح ل4 بيوت اضطررت للتنقل بينها خلال عامنا السوري الأكثر جلالا وانفتاحا على الاحتمالات. بيت العائلة في العباسيين، بيت آخر مرتجل في الجسر الأبيض، غرفة فندق في سوق ساروجة، وبيت الضيعة الحجري المدغوم بروح أبي وبعزلته. في العام 2011 بدأ السوريون كتابة تاريخهم الحديث. كتبوه بموتهم الاعتباطي في البحار والمعتقلات، على الأسلاك الشائكة بين حدود البلاد منبوذين وهاربين. مات السوريون كثيراً، ماتوا طويلاً بتنويعات نغم أخاذ، ماتوا بشاعرية وبعبث، ماتوا كأبطال مجهولين في قصائد الشعراء، ماتوا دون شواهد للقبور، وفي جغرافيات أخرى منعوا حتى تراب المقابر، حتى لم يبقى غير الضحك ليضبط إيقاع تلك الملهات. وبين موتى وموتى آخرين حمل الناجون ذاكرتهم كرمز، تركوا الصلبان وسيف ذو الفقار مخبأة في الحقائب، تركوا آيات الكرسي دون ذهبها، لأننا كما في القصائد الدرويشية في الرحيل نتساوى مع الطير ونرتضي بالقليل. ارتضى السوريون بقليلهم، ارتضوا بلون بشرتهم، وضحكات أطفالهم حملوها كإجازات للعبور، وأتوا إلى العالم. أتينا العالم الحديث خجلين، خجلين من التعاطف، مرهقين من الكلام، عصيين على الشرح، أتينا بتفاصيل لن يفهمها غيرنا. أتينا بوصفات المكدوس والكبة والجبن المسنرة بحبة البركة كي نثبت أننا مثلكم أيضاً نصنع الخبز في الفجر ونطعم أطفالنا حلوى كثيرة في الأعياد. فتح السوريون مطابخهم في هذا العالم كي يكشفوا عن إنسانية مزقها زعيق وكالات الأنباء، والله أكبر مرتجة قبل كل انفجار. وأنا مثل كل السوريين رحلت أيضا، لم يكن رحيلا بالجغرافيا فقط ولا باختلافات الطقس، لم يعنني تبللي بأمطار الصيف والارتجاف بريح الثلوج القطبية، لم يفعل شيئا سوى أنه أبكاني فقط. برد العظام والتأوهات من حمى الشتاء لم يكونا ما أخفاني. ما أرعبني هو ذاك العري الذي يجبرك على خلع كل ما ترتديه من معارف، لأنك في الرحيل تبتعد عنك وتغادر، وأنا فعلت. رحلت عن اللغة وألاعبها، رحلت عن عوالم الصورة وتكويناتها، فقدت السيطرة عمن يقبع في المقدمة ومن يرتمي في الخلفية. لم أعد أقتص من الحياة كوادرها لأصنع أفلاما، ولا من الحكايات ذرواتها لأدخلها في رواياتي كأني أنا من اخترعها. لم أعد أنمق الحكايات وأغربلها من سرديات التاريخ وعجرفته. صرت أنا الحكاية. بعد أن رحلت عن ذكائي وتبجحي، عن التشدق بالحكمة وإطلاق اليقينيات، رحلت عن هويات رتبتها طبقات في داخلي بانتباه وتأني كاللحم الحي. لكن حال وصولي إلى منفعي المختار فقدت أرطالا من المعرفة، وفقدت إحساسي بمن أكون. لم أعد أعرفني، لم أعد أعرف شيئا، وبدأت التعلم، لأني وكما الجميع مع كل المعارف التي راكمتها لم أستطع مرة أن أتقمص شخصية الكائن المطلع اليقيني. لقد فضلت السذاجة على الذكاء المخادع، فضلت الارتباك والتلعثم على الحذاقة اللغوية، فضلت أن أخدع على أن أحمل عبء من سأخدعهم. اخترت أن أدير خدي الآخر على أن أحمل آثار صفعات الوجوه الغريبة على يدي وروحي. فضلت خسارة الحرب على الربح فيها، فعلت مثل أجدادي ومن حملت نسبهم. فنحن كمخلوقات ناجية لم نفعل شيئا متقنا منذ وصولنا هذا الكون سوى الخسارة، فقد خسرنا كل الحروب، حتى تلك التي نصبنا رمحنا في قلب انتصاراتها. فليس هناك ما هو أنقى من مزاج الخسارات، ما هو أكثر ملائمة من قلب استسلم ورفع رايته معلنا عن رغبته بعدم الاستمرار، حيث تبدو الهزيمة كأنها وطن أو قبر، كلاهما ثابت ومريح، كلاهما مريح ونهائي. واليوم مرتمية في قاع هزيمتي، لا أريد غير إله لم يسمع عنه البشر كي يغطي جسدي المسجى بالخسارات. فكم من العار أن تكسب حربا. شكرا.
شكرا عبير. And finally we have Bashir. بالعربي أو بالإنجليزي بقرأ Yeah. So Bashir is a Syrian Kurdish writer and director based in Montreal. Bashir is currently a member of the Writers' Room of the Canadian award-winning drama TV show Transplant S3. A history graduate from the University of British Columbia, Bashir started his career as a journalist and short story writer with a number of magazines writing in Arabic. Since 2018, Bashir has shifted his focus to script writing. He has worked on a number of short films and most recently a documentary titled Freedom is Not Free, 2021, with the support of the Delft City Council in the Netherlands. So yeah, Bashir helped with transcribing two of the interviews, and I see both of, no, not both, I see Sausan here. I mean, I couldn't make it. So yeah, Bashir, it would be great if you could share a bit about your experience. بتصور لا you don't have to do anything. Can you try speaking? بدك تقوي صوتك. Yeah. Okay.
Good evening. Okay. Shukran, Emma. Thanks for the gallery, Michelle and Robin and everyone who's here. I see many familiar faces. After the heavy, a little bit texts, I don't know how to start, but I didn't plan to write something. I have some bullet points, and I meant for this to be more a chat with you. So I want to thank also Julnar Husseini, who put me in touch with Emma 2 years ago. And I was finishing my bachelor degree in history at the time. And I was still grappling with oral history and reading about people who lost their histories. The indigenous people of Canada and also the Kurdish people, which I was trying to write about, and it was a hard time to find maybe resources, academic resources, and I was surprised that I grew up in a place that most of my cultural references are actual oral history materials, and I was starting to get to know those material when I met Emma during COVID and started working on this project. So it gave me more understanding to work with the materials that I was transcribing at the time, and mainly Sausan interview and Amina Chalabi. I will talk on two levels about how I interacted with those interviews. And one level was the language, and the other level was memory. And I'll start with memory because I was listening to those interviews and transcribing them. So I don't know Sausan, I can't imagine how she looks, or Amina, I didn't imagine how they look, and the things they were talking about. But somehow after starting to transcribe, it shifted from doing a job to actually interacting with this text and going into a journey to the memory, to my old household, to remembering my family belongings and the time how I left Syria, when I lived in Turkey, how I missed my little belongings, that anything that I tried to carry with me. I remembered my grandmother things, and that what the mostly made me remember Sausan's relation with baby Zahuri, her grandmother, and all the details you were telling and the stories you were telling were reminding me also with some stories with my grandmother. Those are, I think, some stuff from Sausan. Yeah. I remember all the Asfahani things. And I remember that I had a carpet, my grandmother, and I like to tell this story always because we had a carpet that my grandmother really loved, and it was a gift from my grandfather. I think it was Persian carpet, handmade. We never used, and we kept it for special occasions. And in 2010, just 1 year before the Syrian uprising, I used it without telling my grandmother, and she was mad at me. We had a big fight at the house, and she wanted to kick me out at that day. And then we never used it again, and still I don't know where the carpet is, and we never used it. And it was so special that we didn't get to use it, actually, and my grandmother passed away a couple years ago. So all this was a journey to older memory, to understand what is my oral history also. there was another level of language nostalgia that I had being here in Canada for a few years, and I was in Vancouver. There was less opportunity to speak in Arabic or hear Arabic than Montreal, and then after COVID, also less opportunity to see people. So the language of having Bokhcha, which also exists in Kurdish, or that region of southeast Syria and Iraq, I think they share a lot of vocabulary that I had forgotten some of those vocabularies. I didn't expect to actually hear them again. Same thing for the interview with Amina, when she was talking about the stamps, Syria stamps, the letters she was writing at the time to her boyfriend. And the idea of belonging, that Amina also made me more think about it. She said, what is belonging? I don't know how to answer this question. And I'm realizing more and more living in Canada, I also don't know how to answer that question. Where do I belong? I don't want to make this very long, but I want to end on one note that also Amina said, and it makes me understand how important the oral history is, which is giving the power not to a state or to an authority, but it gives the power to tell the story from one person perspective. And so we are telling our own history. Amina says in her interview, this is my own truth. And so I think each of us has their own truth. And that's what I also love about this project. And so thank you, Emma, and thanks everyone.
Thank you all, four of you. شكرا كتير. ما بعرف، يمكن بداية to start, I do have a lot of things to ask, but I just want to see if one of you has anything to respond on something that someone else spoke about. إذا في شيء حدا تاني حكي بتحبوا هيك تعلقوا عليه، وإذا لا أنا في كتير أشياء أقدر نقود فيها. Yeah.
بس تعقيب على اللي قاله بشير، هي فكرة الممتلكات على قد ما بتبين خاصة، على قد ما بتبين شخصية، هي بالنهاية تجربة إنسانية. كل حدا مننا عنده شيء بيخصه، عنده شيء بيعنيه، عنده شيء، عنده حكاية. يبدو كل ما رحنا يعني عميقاً بإنه نكون خاصين ونكون فرديين ونكون مختلفين، كل ما لقينا إنه نحن عم نتشارك مع الآخرين أشياء ما كنا نفكر غير إنه بتخصنا إلنا. وهذا اللي أنا وعم بكتب اتضح لي، وأنا عم لملم تفاصيل حياتي والبيت وتجربتي، اتضح إنه هي تجربة عامة أكثر بكتير من ما أنا مفترضة. فشكرا. فهو ما كتير اكتشاف عظيم، لأنه واحد بيحب يكون فردي، بس بالنهاية يبدو إنه هي حكاية البشر، حكاية كتير مشتركة كتير. بس
شكرا عدني. في حدا تاني؟ Yeah. Maybe just like I don't know if just before we still have a few, maybe like 10 minutes. I have like some things I'm curious to ask about. Joelle, like let's start with you. Like when we started speaking about the idea of the website, and you spoke about these two like streams, and then we went ahead with the recollection and like centering the people, the names, the interviews at the heart of the project, and also having everything at one place. And as we navigate the website, like it was also the thought how when we click into something then we have to go back to the homepage that gathers everything together. I'm curious about something though. I don't know if it's relevant for everyone attending, but I think for the people who are interviewed, it might be interesting, like the color choices and how you came up with these different color codes for different interviews. I mean, something I really appreciated about Joelle is, and the whole design team, they really listened to all the interviews. They interacted with all, you know, it's not just they got, and that was why it was important for us to work with a design team that speaks the language. فيا ما بعرف إذا if you could share a bit.
I was actually just gonna say that I relate to what Bashir mentioned when transcribing and listening to the content and getting into the personal details of the interviewees, which is really amazing. That thank you for sharing their personal stories with us. So while dissecting each interview, it felt like we are really delving into their personal worlds, their stories. So I started like, I was really curious to put faces to the names and like behind these objects and the interviews. And the colors are actually assigned based on like the tones, the perspective, the story that they were sharing. And we're curious as well what their thoughts are and if they relate to the colors that you assign to them. So please don't hesitate. In case you don't, they can be like change of the simple code, so don't worry about it. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, Joelle. زكي، يمكن في شيء حكيت عنه بالنص وحكيت فيه لما كنا عم نحكي أصلاً عن إنك تكون ضيف هون. لما قلت لي شيء هيك و it resonated، يعني قلت لي حسيت لما so like Zaki did the translation for 2 of the author texts, and when we commissioned the 3 writers and authors, we asked everyone to write the text in the language they're comfortable with. They're all Arabic speakers. عبير كتبت النص بالعربي. Huda wrote a text in English, and Mayit Telmisani wrote a text in French. So Zaki translated both Huda and Mayit's text. And you said something to me when we were talking about how you felt when you were translating Huda's text. It was as if you were bringing this text back to its original language. كأنه النص عم بيرجع على لغته الأصلية. بمعنى من المعاني.
No, I meant that by translating text into Arabic, and we are immigrants coming from Arabia.
Yeah.
So it was as if the object we came with here is returning back. When I read it in Arabic, I feel like that this object returns to its original place.
Yeah.
So, when I discovered the tree uprooted, it was not, I was not happy. I was very sad, and the object stays where you put it. Unfortunately, it will be very lucky if the object travels with you.
Yeah, مش دايما.
But this is not evident.
Yeah.
Yes.
شكرا زكي. يمكن بشير في شيء like something I really admired, like, and I did mention it to you. I did transcribe some of the previous interviews myself. And then like when I asked Bashir to transcribe these last 2 interviews that we did, you did it in a completely different way than I would have transcribed it. For those who are non-Arabic speakers, we speak different dialects. Anyway, I would have transcribed these interviews completely differently. And I felt that Bashir stayed closer, I don't know, with these two interviews, like to the spirit of the orality, and like, and there is something I feel when any interview we listen to like gets translated into a written text, it loses some of its spirit. You know, when we speak, when we listen to something, people speak not just with their voice, there's intonation, hesitation, silences, and all of these things are lost in the written text. And like this written transcript is also, yeah, impacted by the sensitivity of each person who's doing the transcription. حكيت شوي أنت بشير عن هيدي التجربة. ما بعرف، بس هيدي فكرة إنه عم ننقل لغة محكية من لغاتنا اللي نتحدث فيها، عم ننقلها كتابة على ورق، إنه قد إيه كانت تشالنجينج، ولا ما بعرف، ولا as you like.
Yeah, I think it's challenging, but also it's something joyful. But what is challenging for me that I don't think I have one Arabic accent per se. Growing up speaking Kurdish at home, we speak different Arabic accents that exist in the area. So one of them would be like closer to I think what Amina was speaking, which is closer to standard Syrian, maybe, or one Arabic is closer to what Sausan was speaking. At least like some vocabularies, like the K is che, or things like that. So. And you realize also, even in daily texting, people write differently, that in a way you imagine them differently. Sometimes you think this text is angry, but actually it's maybe not meant to be angry. I think it was harder to just write for the first time, just transcribe it without thinking about the letters and the tone of this sentence, because you need to get something done, but you listen to it and you want to know the state that this person was speaking to. So I think what was amusing to me, I will try to say, that the letters that does not exist in Arabic, that I wanted to embed them into writing. So the person who knows this accent can read it exactly how it is. And I think that was the amusing part of it. And I'm glad you liked it. Thanks.
I'm also looking for, like, especially with Sausa's interview, like I'm curious, like I'm looking forward to when you read the transcript and see how it is. عبير، عندي أول شيء بدي acknowledge شفت لين هون. Lene is the person who translated your text into English and French.
لين شكرا كثير. أخذت يعني عرضت على دكتوري بالجامعة اللي بيعمل لي كرياتيف رايتنج، وهو يعني المنتور تبعي، وقال لي إذا أنت بتكتبي هيك فأنت كاتبة عظيمة. قلت له لا، هذا ترانسليتد. فشكرا لين إنه Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But يعني أنا كتير جدبة وكتير كلمزي، فأنا ماني كتير ذكية وحساسة مثل هذا النص، وأنا عندي أخطاء عظيمة يعني. فأنا آسفة لأي دمعة نزلت من عين أي حدا، ودائما هي يعني كومنت يعني هي ملاحظة دائمة، فإنه أنا ما بحب بكي حدا والله، بس آسفة يعني. شكرا كتير.
You really managed. يعني قدرت توصلي شيء. You managed to get something. You found the words.
Thank you so much.
Because many of us did not find the words, and we have to thank you.
نو بدنا نقضيها كل النهار هلا عم نشكر هلا برا شكرا فعلا فعلا شكرا، الترجمة كانت عظيمة، شكرا كثير.
ف مش لا بس هيك اللي انا شفت لين وقلت لازم acknowledge يعني. عبير بتذكر لما هيك اول ما حكيتك كرمال المشروع وبلشتي بالنص وبلشتي كتير كنت من فكرة الممتلكات كشيء هيك حسي وملموس أول ما بلشتي، وبعدين شطحتي ورحتي هيك على مفاهيم يعني أكبر. والنص مثل ما قلتي فعلا بيتنقل هيك بسلاسل من الخاص للعام. عندي بس حشرية على المقتطف اللي اخترتيه، إنه ليش هيدا المقتطف؟ لأنه بتصور صعب حدا يختار يعني، بس بدي هيك.
هو الحقيقة لأنه هو رحلة، لأنه أنا كمان كنت عم اكتشف يعني كل فعل كتابة وفعل اكتشاف لذات غير مقصود، بس هو دائما بتحصلي عليه، إنه واحد يكتشف حاله وهو عم يكتب يعني بخلال الرحلة اللي عم يقوم فيها. النص اللي أخذته اليوم اقتطعته كان بيعني لي كتير، لأنه هو مثل ما قلت هو تقريب الحكاية السورية، الملهاة السورية من مقارباتها عند البشر، يعني عند المنافي، فكرة المنفى، فكرة الهويات، فكرة ترتيب البيت، يعني ترتيب فكرة الحقيبة، فكرة شو نحن بنحط بحقائبنا وقت بدنا نرحل، شو المهم وشو اللي بيحمل أثر، بدنا نكون عمليين ولا بدنا نكون عاطفيين، بدنا نكون. فانطلقت من فكرة المفتاح، من المفاتيح، لا فكرة الحقائب، لا بعدين اللغات، لا فكرة الهوية كلها. ومثل العادة يعني بننطلق من الكاسة بعدين لنسأل السؤال الوجودي إنه بنشرب ولا ما بنشرب وهيك بصير يعني. ما بيكون كتير واعي الخيار. ما بدي كتير أحكي، الكتاب بيحبوا يعني يدعوا إنه هن مسيطرين وواعيين لكل خيار اتخذوه، بس الحقيقة بالكتابة في أشياء ما واعية أبدا نحصل عليها ونحن عم نكتب.
شكرا عبير. Okay, I'm looking at the time. Still have around say 15 minutes. I'd really like to hear from the people here. ما بعرف من الناس الموجودين هون إذا حدا عنده شيء حابب يشاركنا فيه، أي سؤال، أي فكرة. I don't know. And I did see a lot of people walk by, and I just want, no, like walk in, not by. And I just want to say hi. Okay. Just get this out of the way, just to intimidate you. And I'm like having eye contact. Well,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you to all. This was marvelous. What a incredible project. I'm really grateful to you all. I'm just curious, Emma, if you're going to continue this. Is it ongoing, or how will that? I know it's a ton of work, but I'm just curious if you have any future directions at this point.
Unfortunately, I would say no. Like this website, like this project has been ongoing. I would say since 2017. It started with my master's thesis, and then at the same time, I also started collaborating with the gallery who were developing Arabic programming. And then like we used that thesis project as sort of a seed, but then the Mumtalakat project was launched in 2019. And it's been a few years.
I would say this, and like the way short answer is no for this project. My hope or my aspiration for this website, or the intention behind gathering all of these interviews, critical texts. There's also a bibliography, an introduction, just to contextualize these stories. Have them there in a website, because the thing is, when we share, like when people share stories with us and we share them online with other people, we somehow lose agency. And with time, and as people are farther away from the project, like now we're in the present, and like this present moment, we're very close to the project, but a few years from now, someone will be browsing this website. And like the intention was that to have the project contextualized for people to know how it started, how these stories that these people shared with us speak to each other, speak with the texts that were authored. And then hopefully every new visitor to the website, every person who interacts with a different text or interview, like brings their own reading to it. And this is like my vision of how the project would go on, is really with every new visit and person listening and interacting and reading all of these interviews and texts. Yeah. But I will not be like continuing, with this, if that makes sense. But I would add that at the gallery there will be different forms of Arabic programming. There will be a series of workshops that Michelle spoke about, like with different people, and Lean, who also did the translation, will be giving guided tours, like exhibition tours, to the different exhibitions that yeah, that was a very long answer. Sorry, ya Jamia.
Yes,
تفضل.
this is my question,
Yeah.
not just hers. But I thank her that she spoke about this very crucial point. I think that this project have potentials while it was going on. I remember each event, Zoom event, I was just as a theater, as I work in theater and journalism, I tested, or I just was curious to know the byproducts of each and every Zoom meeting, Zoom event. So, and now everything is written and it is put in a website that is supposed to be dynamic, and now it is going to die.
The website or
Yes,
the project?
yes, I don't see how how it is going to be revived, because you know the objects will be always coming with someone, immigrant or I don't know, and the website has to have has to give the opportunity for everybody to enter with his object and speak his story. يعني the website may grow
Like additional stories?
stories, I don't know, many things, even plays, even films.
Yeah.
You can have byproducts from this project, even films. You can use it in cinema. Yes, but how to tell people that, hey, there is something here you should see.
Yeah.
Yes, this is, it makes me sad.
Oh, that the project.
I know that it has to have budget, but well, this is how things start.
Yeah. I would say like a big part of how I do things or how I work in these projects is, like for the project itself, I would say is really collaborating with other people and hoping that other people, you know, do and continue to do their own thing. Today, someone who attended the first storytelling workshop we held in person, I didn't know the person personally, but I received a message on WhatsApp from Lebanon. And the person was like, hey, I'm friends with this and this. And then he told me that he's running a series of storytelling workshops around objects in coffee shops in Beirut. And this is like a way I feel of people taking agency. He was telling me how like he just learned about this website launch. And he's like, oh, I didn't know it was, because he was here on a visit and he came attended the storytelling workshop. But it's how these things take agency and other people, I don't know, continuing the project or different kind, or inspired by the project to do different kinds, you know, of events or, yeah. I don't know if that answers the. I mean, the sadness
No,
was. Yeah.
there is no answer.
Yeah.
For this question, there is no
Yeah.
answer unless you have budget.
And I quit my job. Yeah, it's not just that. It's also, I feel like some things, I don't know, like, I wouldn't say a start and an end. It's bittersweet, but it's also a fresh new thing. There's a,
Yes.
like the interview when they exist on their own, but then when together and with other things, I don't know. It's a different way of engaging with the project, definitely different. But yeah. I mean, we still have 10 minutes. I think we have time for one final question or comment if anyone wishes to share anything. Yeah, there's someone over there.
This is not much of a question. Just to add on to this conversation about the sort of beginning and to this, as it is like a launch for the website. I think, yes, obviously, in this capitalistic world, if we want to make things that are larger, there is that necessity for budget. But also, if there are people, if there are, like you said, like I think this inspiring others or just reaching others, it's through people, it's through life.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's through love, like that inspiration, like that's just a seed that you guys are spreading onto the world that lives on to the people, to everybody who reads this as immigrants, who can allow that inspiration to them also like grow their own trees, like, you know, putting out a metaphor like that just to say that this, I totally hear what you're saying, like obviously as a sort of visual artist myself and just like researcher, like it is like budget is necessary, but like you said, like collective collaboration and letting those seeds take on, it's all that matters. But I thank you all. يعطيكم الصحة, مرحبا بكم.
Thank you. I think on that note, unless someone wishes to share anything, like I'll just say when I was like thinking of writing an introduction for the project, لتكون على الوebsite, like I spoke a bit of how the project started, what the website contains, and the thought process behind it. And I think I was always preoccupied. I mean, it touches on what you mentioned, Zeki, and I don't know your name, but we'll get to know it. Is that I kept thinking of this website. I mean, I think it's for me, like it's very precious that these interviews will live online. The texts that were written to accompany this website. And I really like think of it as this trace that is left of this project for anyone else now or later to engage with it. It's really like I want to end this with an invitation for everyone here, like to reflect on the ways of how private stories, هيك قصصنا الشخصية اللي بنشاركها مع بعض, لما هيك تنحط بالحيز العام، كيف تتغير, how these stories transform into public knowledge, and like acknowledging how this will transform with each interaction. Yeah, I think that's what I want to end on. One more time بدي أشكر كل الناس اللي كانوا جزء من هالمشروع. بدي أشكر, I want to thank all four of you. Thank you so much for being here today, and also, yeah, for your help to make this launch event. Yeah, and now is the time, I would say. We still have 8 minutes, but like it's probably time for anyone, like if you want to socialize, I would say we could head to the gallery afterwards. But there is also a station over there for anyone who wishes maybe to explore the website a bit. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. شكرا كتير للجميع, وهيك ناطرة لأحكي, شايفة كتير ناس وجوه بحبها, yeah, looking forward to chatting with you. Thank you.
Okay, super big thank you once again to all the panelists, to everyone who's here, and an extra big congratulations on the launch of this website. This is amazing. So thank you so much again for joining us. We do have stations set up. Please feel free to put on the headphones, give it a try. Otherwise, please head over to the gallery for the reception. So thank you. And this was a live stream recording, so it is available on YouTube on our channel, Fourth Space. And if you wanted to revisit this at any point in time, please do so there. Thank you again and have a great evening.